your mother. It's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just a trio of feathery brethren weathering any season to see the Eagles eating teams like Scrammy's top with cheese. It's Philadelphia. Bo, Sheil, and Zach kicking it cooler than 3 penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some
Birds with Friends.
The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some
Birds with Friends.
Bo, Sheil, and Zach coming at you with sets and things flapping their wings on.
Statistics, they can be like bathing suits. What they, what.
Finish it up. Sometimes you gotta take them off.
What the hell?
What they show is revealing, but what they conceal is vital, right? So.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Birds with Friends on a beautiful Wednesday evening. Schedule release evening. Bo Wolf, Sheil Kapadia, Marissa Morris here, as well as the swimsuit man himself, who's been breaking news all day long. Zach, how many road trips do the Eagles have in which they will need to pack their bathing suits?
Pack their bathing suits. Well, they can go to a pool in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Correct. You're not swimming in Denver. You are. I suppose you could swim in Carolina. I suppose you can swim in Carolina in October, but that could be hit or miss. I'm trying to think here. Atlanta in September, you can swim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's the extent of it. They don't have a preseason destination.
Fort Worth
in past
in
years,
September, maybe?
Yeah, that's true. Fort Worth in September.
Okay.
That would certainly qualify. I frankly did not look at the schedule thinking of where our swimsuit destinations. I did think about college football destinations. So, Bo, we can discuss some 1.5 hour plus or minus road trips to college football games if you would like.
What do you got? Because I did not look at the college football schedule. What piqued your interest?
Well, so week 1 in Atlanta, Georgia Tech, and Auburn all have home games, but they're playing against like small schools.
Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah.
Cupcakes, as they say.
The Detroit game, I was hoping we could have a game in Ann Arbor. There's a game in East Lansing, Michigan State. So look at that. And then I was really hoping, if you've ever been to Boulder, it's a great college town. I was hoping Colorado would be in town when the Eagles play Denver. They do not. They're not in town that weekend, unfortunately. Anyways, we have to discuss the schedule, not extracurricular activities.
I mean, we can discuss whatever we want. It's our show. All right. Why don't we send it over to the Stone Cold Newsman? How about a little breaking news from the man who was breaking the Eagles schedule news all day long?
The Eagles announced their schedule tonight. I wasn't prepared for the breaking news. Yes, the Eagles announced their schedule.
She didn't know that was coming.
I frantically was going to click the button.
That was a great
That was
job.
good
The Eagles opened the season in Atlanta in a battle of first-year coaches. Arthur Smith, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles last opened their season in Atlanta in 2015. In 2015, Chip Kelly's last year.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Correct? Week 1 in Atlanta. I remember that game.
Kiko Alonso, interception in the end zone.
Byron Maxwell got beat by Julio Jones. So I don't want to give all the games here in the news update, but we
can just go through the games. Why don't we just go through the games? That's what we're here to do. We'll talk later about hashtag classics for Sheil. We've got lots of stuff to get to, but you and I gave our game by game predictions, which people can read on The Athletic. We have not heard from Sheil, so let's go through. Let's digest.
Well, I was gonna say I haven't really paid. I got the highlights. I looked at the opponents, but I haven't done my usual close-up examination of this.
And you love this piece every year, Sheil. You had to dip away. You love writing this bad boy.
Listen, when I'm handed other stuff to do, sometimes you gotta pick and choose a little bit.
You gotta be a team player.
We know that's not true. Yeah, that's not really my thing, team player. But so I think on the pod, I can do the win-loss exercise.
Okay.
The Atlanta games, I know last time they opened the season, like you mentioned, against Atlanta. I remember I was in Kirkland, Washington. We didn't have the TV set up yet. I had the laptop out. I got home from a Seahawks practice. I'm watching Eagles-Falcons, tweeting about it. And then the time before that,
my first Eagles game when I wasn't working for the team, I remember it very specifically. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then the time before that, I believe was 2005, right? When they opened against Atlanta. That time, I was in a 1-bedroom apartment in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, off of Union Deposit Road. I got this really old orange recliner there that I was sitting there and watching it by myself. So these Atlanta games
Garfield?
Just tell the story of my life, I feel.
Okay, fair enough. Shout out to celebrity appearance in the chat. Josh Norris asking for a Zach Berman book recommendation.
And whatever the anti shout out is, I've seen my name misspelled 3 times here. What, we got some casuals in here tonight? Casuals.
Yeah, we don't want to throw our numbers. We want it right where it is.
Yeah.
Just the DFOPs. That's all.
I'm trying to use
Zach
casuals more.
Thing that they're going for.
Kids use that a lot, right? You got the casuals. What else you got? The normies, is that one of them?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be a simp either.
Yeah, you don't want to be. Oh, yeah. No, I like a simp. Okay.
You like a simp?
Yeah, I like.
All right, you don't want to be a simp. All right,
you like a simp or a casual? Let's make a executive.
Don't be a simp. You don't want to be a simp.
Okay.
I'd rather be a casual than a simp.
I think Marissa is our resident, what the young people say.
I don't know any of these words.
I would say,
just call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
I would say Marissa is like an old soul. You know, I feel like there's been at least 10 occasions on this pod where we've said, all right, Marissa, tell us what the kids are doing. And she's like, NFT, TikTok.
Text my
what are you talking about here? I got to go watch some I Love Lucy after the pod or something. So, I don't know. We may need a resident young person.
Okay. Yeah, well, why don't we just get Naya?
Yeah, Naya's 8. Yeah, she might be able to do it.
Yeah, I feel like she can hook us up.
Not always the most cooperative, but.
Well, speaking of Naya, Sheil, how did the new internet transition go? How's it going so far?
It went well. We had internet uncle at the house, made a little change. I don't want to brag, saving, $25, $30 a month from the old provider. Then you cancel the old provider and they say, well, can we do anything? No,
isn't it nice?
The opportunity.
Isn't it nice to be like, oh no, we've had this conversation, my friend, not with you, but with your coworkers. It is over. I'm sorry. There is nothing you can do. This bad boy is installed and already working.
I'll talk to you in a year when that price goes up and I will come crawling back. But for now, I want nothing to do with you. So it's going well. We'll see how the upload speeds are after this. I'm very excited about that.
All right. So week 1, Atlanta. The Eagles, unfortunately, do not have William Sherman on their roster. They did not draft him, but they will be going down there trying to torch the Falcons regardless. And, I don't know. I think they could win this game. Falcons defense is bad. You get a little Jalen Hurts running around. You got Devontae Smith going up against his grandfather, Calvin Ridley. All kinds of good stuff.
I haven't read what you picked yet. Did you pick the Falcons in this, or did you pick the Eagles in this?
I picked a win in this, and I mentioned that this is going to be a tough day for you, Zach, because you're going to get a little bit exhausted by game time, having walked all the way around the stadium trying to find every fan in a Kyle Pitts jersey to tell them that he's from Philly.
That's funny. No,
I'm generally walking I'm generally walking all around the stadiums trying to figure out how to get inside those media entrances. I'll tell you what, no one is worse at finding those than me.
Was Atlanta with Zach or Sheil? That was our first game together, you and me.
I have not been to the new Atlanta.
First road game, you and I.
Yeah, that was our first. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in these games? It's insane. No, but
it's a fun way to start. What are you, a certain former ESPN anchor? We can't talk about these now because we don't. All right, I will go with a loss here. I think the Falcons are going to be a much improved team. They're actually one of my sleeper teams here. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually won the division. I think they were horribly coached in the past. Now, listen, I'm not putting Arthur Smith.
I think they win the division. Interesting.
No, I think they can. I think they can. I think I had him 11th in my power rankings. I think they've got talent on offense. They've got some young offensive linemen who they drafted last year and this year, where if like a couple of those guys pan out. But, they're probably going to be trading Julio Jones, I think, here in the next couple months. So that will be a bit of a bummer. I don't think they should do that. I think they should kind of try to take a little 2-year run here and see what happens. You got an old quarterback, but I've got the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of trading Julio Jones for them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Only because like. Yeah, but like you can find the cap space to get through the season and then trade Julio Jones after the
cushions.
year.
Yeah, you guys
let him ride it out into the sunset with his old running mate Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, so
guys, their careers are ending. Let them play together.
I hate to do this to Bo. I'm more on Sheil's side on this one than Bo. I think higher of the Falcons. You know how for
it's not that I don't think highly of the Falcons. It's just that it's a week 1 game. Like anything can happen.
No, but like the Eagles for a few years were like, we were a few games away from being 11 and 5 or whatever, when really there was like one close game in there, then the rest were like 5 points, and every game in the NFL is close. The Falcons are one of those teams that could legitimately claim to be like 1 or 2 plays away from a winning record. They lost so many games in freakish ways.
1-8 in 1-score games last year.
Yeah,
including
they have
where that win probability chart was. It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
The Cowboys won, and when was the other one?
I don't know. You think?
I thought when you said there were 2, I thought I didn't
really.
Put on the spot.
I mean, there was
the
game when Todd Gurley was supposed to take the knee right before the end zone, and he scored, and I forget who the opponent was then. But anyways,
who cares?
I still think Matt Ryan is a good quarterback. This might be a Philly bias. I still think he can play. And
here's a question for you, Zach.
Yes.
Does Matt Ryan to Kyle Pitts have the potential to be the best Philly to Philly connection in the NFL
ever?
Without
it. You added that in at the end.
Well, I guess it has the potential, but like who are they trying to beat? Do we? Something to think about. Something to think about. You don't have to do it off the top of your head, but let it ruminate. Let's figure out who the best connection is.
There were like Joe Flacco to
Joe Flacco. By the way, you guys been watching Mayor of Easttown?
I saw the Saturday Night Live skit the other night, but I haven't watched the show.
The Saturday Night Live skit, the pronunciation of daughter is so wrong. It's not Durder. It's daughter or daughter. It's not Durder. They ruined the whole skit to me.
Right.
But I've been working on my accent, nonstop watching Mayor of Easttown. I feel like
we're 1 game.
I feel like it's getting pretty good.
Yeah.
How's the show? Is it good? Is the show good?
It's worth watching.
Okay, that's saying something for me. Now, do you think if I needed to write Matt
you don't
Ryan,
have time for TV shows right now, though. You got a lot of movies to plow through,
which is the opposite of usual. Now, if I had to do if I wanted to do a Falcon story to break the ice with Matt Ryan, do you think if I told him that in middle school they had this really weird thing at my school where we would go to the Exton Library like once a month for no reason, and then after that we would go to the Exton Mall for lunch, and it's a bunch of middle schoolers running around the mall, and I forget what this candy store was called. If we have any Exton people in the comments. And like kids would just be going in this middle schoolers in this candy store, buying like whatever money their parents gave them, just loading up on candy. I have no idea what the educational value of this was. And like if they did this for my kids, I would be like, what the hell is going on here? It was totally
think that would be a
unnecessary.
good icebreaker.
I think that would be good. Okay,
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
maybe I'll write a Matt Ryan story. All right,
I thought it was going to be about
the
guy he pitched against in high school, but
no. Okay. All right, so I'm going to write down my records so you don't have to do that. So I've got them 0-1 after week 1.
I have them 0-1 as well.
I got them picking off a W. Picking off a W.
Like no, not Mr. Bulkies. That sounds, I don't know. It was something like that. All right.
Okay, Zach, what's week 2?
San Francisco at home. The home opener against the 49ers.
Who's starting this game at quarterback for the 49ers?
I have an answer for you.
Yeah.
Well, think about it this way, guys. Last time the Eagles played at home at Lincoln Financial Field, very spicy storyline. Bit of an infamous game in the NFL. Closed the regular season with the infamous tank job with Nate Sudfeld inserted into the game. First game since then, What could happen? Let's see. Jimmy G gets traded before the season. Trey Lance suffers an injury week 1. Who starts at quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers? But Nate Sudfeld out to prove that he is no joke, that he is an NFL caliber quarterback, taking it to his former team that made him look like such a doofus.
How about this flex from Nydog? First hookup was at the Exton Mall. Wow, Nydog, my man, you dirty dog, you.
Well, let's not give him congratulations yet. We don't know what the age difference was there. If he was.
That's your response, Bo? How does your mind go there?
I thought you were saying we don't know what the age was. Like maybe,
that's really
35. Who was buying some khakis?
That's what I meant, yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay, good. I hope that is what you
so back to the starting quarterback. Look, that's a legitimate question because there are a few games on the schedule where you don't know who the starter is going to be. With the 49ers, unless you're looking at Green Bay for like an Aaron Rodgers replacement, perhaps, but I doubt that, or Houston for a Deshaun Watson replacement, which will probably be like the most plausible scenario. I don't see a situation for Jimmy G. So my guess is Jimmy G is the starter for that game.
Sam Bradford. What if someone gets hurt? You clear the way.
I think that's what they're gonna do. I mean, because I don't think they're really motivated at this moment to trade him because of what you said.
Right,
Zach.
exactly.
All the seats are taken. So I think if you're the 49ers, what you do is you just wait. You see how August plays out. Now, there's a chance that like all of a sudden Trey Lance isn't the guy you thought he was. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's say he's just really struggling and, Jimmy G is looking good. They're like 24-8 with Jimmy G.
To hear the word struggling and not think of drunk Joe Namath as far as I'm concerned.
As a starter. So I think they wait. They see if a team loses its starter in August and then they make a trade then. And if not, you can always just release him. I mean, I don't think you're going to be getting a great haul for him right now. I guess you could potentially keep him. I don't think that's what's going to happen because you're costing yourself $25 million. And so that's $25 million that next year's cap, it rolls over. And so if you want to build around Trey Lance and make sure you're exploring every avenue possible to improve your roster, then I don't think you keep Jimmy G on the roster there. But I do think that August scenario is the one that plays out. I think Trey Lance will be starting this game. I mean,
I think so too.
You don't make a move like that unless you just like really are in love with the guy. Now, what our 49ers have written, and this makes it, I guess, a little bit tricky, is that the locker room does seem to like Jimmy G. Like he's a guy who gets along with people there. So I guess like Kyle Shanahan's nightmare scenario would be, Trey Lance kind of struggling at practice and, Jimmy G being healthy. And then it's kind of like, it's like when Chip Kelly was asked that one summer, how can you go back, how can you play Nick Foles given what Mike Vick has done in the preseason? He was like, all right, yeah, you're right. You can't do that because everyone's watched it. So that would be the only scenario, I think. But I think Jimmy G will be gone, and I think Trey Lance will start that game.
So San Francisco plays week 1 in Detroit. So they're on the road back-to-back to start the season. Ooh. And it's not as if it's like one game against the Rams or the Cardinals and then the Eagles. Like it's different time zones both times. In the past, I know Detroit's not the same time zone as Philadelphia, but in the past, they've stayed on the East Coast or around this area and practice. I'm curious if they go back and forth twice, but that's those are 2 long trips for the 49ers to start the season.
I've got an L there for the Eagles.
So I have a surprise W here, and I was really going back and forth between the Eagles game and the Panthers game, which we'll get to in a minute, for like where this early season win could be. And look, it's the home opener, so you're going to have juice. It's the first game with a full crowd since the playoff game at the end of the 2019 season, so January 2020. I think this is. I think there's going to be that home field advantage here. Now I don't know how that will manifest itself, but I could see this being like a sneaky upset. I think San Francisco is the better team, but I gave the Eagles a win here because
let's let Kyle Shanahan get his second winning season before we put him in the Hall of Fame. That's all I'm saying.
What'd you pick?
Detroit's in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah, we
Zach.
got some time zone.
I didn't know that. I was with you, Zach.
I thought it might be one of those ones that flip-flops back and
hold
forth.
on, Zach firing back here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pedants are right. I think it is. I think it might be one of those ones where you it doesn't do daylight savings time. Maybe?
Okay. So I am wrong. I stand corrected.
Stone Cold 12 says all those
actually,
books
I remember
Zach,
we went to a
no
wedding
maps.
in Indiana, and we flew into Detroit and changed time zones on the way from Detroit to Indiana.
Wow.
Well, you know what?
That was the infamous Lil Nas X wedding.
So I stand corrected, and I should know this because the Thanksgiving game in Detroit is at 12:30. They're not playing an 11:30 football game. So
of course.
Yeah. So I stand corrected. I wish this wasn't live right now because then we could go back and replay it. But
yeah, I think we probably should just end the pod. I don't know how we recover from that. Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
And by the way, Josh Norris suggesting in the chat that I could pull off BEAU does not know that there is a blood feud between the BOs and the BEAUs. I will not accept that. Those people are garbanzo beans. We will have none of their kind over here.
Okay. Week 3.
I had the Eagles winning that game because,
2-0.
2-0.
Oh yeah, Philadelphia is freaking out. Sirianni has won everybody over. Starts the season 2-0. And then we get to the rest of the schedule.
Well, as Tracer Bullet pointed out, Defop Tracer Bullet, that Bo will probably just pick the opposite here that he did on the site. This is one of his older moves so that he can point to being
it's a very astute observation because there are 2 articles posted on the website right now. One is the templated reaction that every team has with a projected record, and one is the one in which Zach and I went through the record. And yes, there are 2 different records that I'm on the record with predicting. So there you go.
Unbelievable. But I guess Bo is really trying to get a question in on one of these press conferences, Zach, huh? 2-0. It was 17-0, Bo, or you got him losing it all this year? I guess we'll get to it.
We'll get there. Yeah, calm
I
down.
got a text. I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to violate confidence here. No, but it said that was a great question. Bo asked Landon Dickerson. That was a text from another reporter. They really like.
Wait, why are they telling you that?
Yeah, wait a second. That's another reporter.
Reach out to you?
And they can't tell me.
All right, so whoever this person is hates Bo.
but hates me enough. But the question was so good that they had to.
It's been really good.
Zach. Yeah.
No, we have dialogue about the press conference and not dialogue, text exchange about the press conference.
Well, I missed this. What was the question, Bo? Fill me in.
Very classic go-to question here. Landon Dickerson has proposed to his longtime girlfriend, and he was asked a couple questions about it. Zach asked him a question. His girlfriend is a volleyball player. Played beach volleyball at Florida State, transferred to Alabama. When he transferred to Alabama to play regular volleyball, I just asked who's a better athlete. I mean, like we haven't asked Zach Ertz this question before, right?
Oh yeah, no, I would disagree that that's a great question. Yeah,
it was a better answer than it was a question. It was just
these Zoom press conferences.
It was a fine question, but it was a good answer.
Look, I am not complaining whatsoever. Like I understand the world we've been in for the past year. I think we've discussed this though. For like an offbeat question, these Zoom press conferences are so odd because there's no rhythm. So it would be like Devontae Smith, what makes you a great route runner? And then it's like Devontae Smith, why have you had the same barber your whole life? It's like there's
right.
no rhythm.
Why did you worry about your mom's job when you were growing up? Yeah. It's very.
And then it's like. And then it gets to exactly. Usually you'd read the room, but you can't because when you get called upon, you have to ask the question.
No one handled those situations better than one Malcolm Jenkins. I would sit there and crack up. Malcolm, what do you think of the police reform initiatives here? Well, Malcolm, Dak Prescott saying they the team to beat. What do you think about that, my man?
Malcolm, what's it gonna feel like, man, when you put on those pads for the first time and get to hit somebody?
And he would just answer them all. It was incredible. I would sit there in awe. He should really, I don't know if he trains other athletes how to do that, but that was fantastic. All right, if we at this pace, it will be week 1 before we finish the schedule. So let's get moving here. Week 3. Oh, at Dallas, Monday night.
Yes.
Okay. One of only 2 primetime games for the Eagles, and the other one's a Thursday nighter. So, this team not getting a lot of national respect.
When's the last time they had 2 or fewer? Did I send? I asked you guys that in a text thread, right?
Yeah, that sounds like work to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a hint, like I want this answer. I mean, not that I'm your
we'll
boss.
Look that up now. Okay. The thing about this is that that Washington game in week 15, I think it is. That's a Saturday or Sunday. I think it could potentially be like, I don't know, a primetime slot Saturday, but like the only game at its time on Saturday.
Okay.
That game needs to be figured.
The classic, the classic like Texans Colts time slot.
Yes. And then the other part is with the new TV deal, there's a lot of flexibility with Sunday night games. Any afternoon game, I believe, or maybe it's after a certain week, but any game in like the 4:00 slot could be flexed into the primetime game. So Sunday night has the most flexibility because it can flex those afternoon games.
Big flex.
Okay.
Yeah. So a Monday nighter at Dallas. This is the Eagles' only NFC East game in their first 11 games, and then they play.
This is crazy. I was looking at this. Unbelievable.
And they play 5 of their last 6 against the division. And, we'll get to it, but a very late bye for the Eagles in a 17-game season. They don't have a bye until week 14. Yes, week 14. So long stretch for Nicky Sirianni to not wear on his players. So Dallas,
I'm looking
I have
ahead
it as
here.
lost.
And so I don't want to predict them to go 0-4 because that's kind of a stretch, I feel. So if I had looked at all this ahead of time, I probably would have had a win in one of the first 2 weeks. But I'll go ahead and predict a win at Dallas Monday night. They go in there. They're feeling themselves a little bit after 2 losses. They're feeling the pressure. Devontae Smith on the national stage. They go in there and they sneak out a W.
So Ben DiNucci's not walking through that door, and this is Dak Prescott's.
He's not walking through that door.
He's
dancing through that door, baby.
This is Dak Prescott's first game against the Eagles since that ill-fated Week 16 game in 2019 that effectively eliminated Dallas from the postseason. This is going to be a better Cowboys team. And
their defense still stinks.
Yeah, and look, they go against it's not my philosophy. I was about to take credit of like look at the line of scrimmage.
You invented the game. I like that.
Yeah, their defensive line has a lot of questions, and their offensive line is aging. So that said, I still think Dallas is the favorite in the division, and they'll be favored to win this game.
You have them. Would you have them winning?
I have them winning. I have the Eagles falling to 1-2 right here.
Somebody asked in the chat, what's our favorite game time? And,
I feel like you love this question, and we've answered it
we've
every
answered
year.
it many times.
That's okay. We have
1 p.m.
Marissa has told us our audience is growing, so we have to revisit some of these.
Well, the biggest thing, as we said, this schedule. No Sunday night games is good reporters wise. Sunday night is the worst game time because if you're going to have a primetime game, you either want the extra time on the back end for a Thursday night game, or you want the extra time on the front end to get to watch, the Sunday games, get a Monday night game. Although, that makes the following week not as fun, but that's okay. Sunday night worst, I would go Sunday 1:00, number 1. I would go Monday night number 2. I don't like a Sunday 4:25. It's like it's still going to be late. It's still going to be at night, so you're not really getting anything out of it. You get to maybe have a little bit more time with the family in the morning if it's a home game.
It's like the Seinfeld episode with the button. Like what's that button doing there?
It's not doing anything for you.
Exactly.
So I think I'd go Sunday 1, Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday 4, Sunday 8. And then I guess Saturday night would be after Thursday night for me.
I like Sunday 1, obviously. That's the best. Like,
yeah,
actually, my favorite time, it's not that time overseas, but like if they could kick off games at 9 a.m., that would be ideal for me, right? Like I'm up.
We know.
I'm up 5:45 game days anyway. So
no wonder you're so tired for those post-game pods.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So Sunday at 1. But of the primetime slots, I like a Thursday. Right, like let's get
Thursday too. Get it out of the way.
Let's get rid of the fluff. You know, you get right into it, and I won't go down this path because we've talked about it on the pod before. But one of my favorite gimmicks from coaches is that like they can't figure out the day of the week is. You know, well, this is my Wednesday, right? So
and of course, as you've also said, the Thursday night, you know, you win because you simplified the playbook. Well, maybe we should just simplify the playbook every week.
Every week. I actually recommended that to Doug Peterson one time, and he said that's a good idea. He said
his wife said the same thing, right?
Yes.
I find the day of the week thing was a big COVID thing. You know, early on, everyone was doing it, but then you got to like September, October.
What do you mean everyone was doing it? Having days of the week?
No, everyone's going, what even day is it? I'll tell you what, am I supposed to say happy Friday or happy Monday, my friend? I don't. Is it hump day? I don't even know when hump day is anymore. Am I right? I mean, that's like that.
You sound like an elevator guy. You're big into the small talk.
So that was going on. And early on, I was like, yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, it's tough to know what day it is. But I don't know. Like once I was into month 7, I'm like, come on, I know what day it is at this point. So put that one away.
Okay.
Happy hump day. Okay. All right. Oh, the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes. The Isaac Seumalo. Zach, big Isaac Seumalo feature.
Oh, that's
coming
true.
That week.
Yeah.
What do you think? Last time they faced the Chiefs, this guy got benched. Now look at him. All pro guard.
I don't know about all pro guard.
Replaced by Landon Dickerson.
Maybe he'll get benched.
This could be. He might get benched again.
He's now number 56.
Oh, Byron Evans. Okay.
And Chris Long, yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about them giving Zach McPherson 27?
A little surprised by that.
Yeah, that's a little.
Brent Selleck, I mean, no disrespect to Brent Selleck, but Brent Selleck's number is untouchable. But Malcolm Jenkins, you get that out after a year. Yeah.
He deserves more leeway than like Carson Wentz.
Brent Selleck's number really untouchable?
They haven't given 87 out since he left.
Crazy.
Wow.
that is a true.
Now, all due respect.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Is that wow? Good thing they're not playing the Saints. I mean, Malcolm Jenkins would have asked for.
They are playing the Saints.
Oh, they are playing.
Yeah, they play
the Saints at home this year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Malcolm Jenkins might take some offensive snaps there and just go after Zach.
Yeah, I think that's right. Pop him on the sidelines. Yes. So Andy Reid comes to Philadelphia for just the second time. A good note in Zach's write-up. Third time Andy Reid has now played the Eagles. 3 different head coaches.
Yes, since he got fired in 2012.
Wow.
So Andy's been a constant, and the Eagles have rotated. Now they have won a Super Bowl to their credit, but they're on their third coach. Wow, Andy has a good thing going.
You said coach. That was good.
What do you think the line is going to be for this game? I'll set it. You give me an over-under.
All right.
On the road, you don't often see like double-digit road favorites. I don't think the Eagles are going to be that bad at that point. I will set it at Chiefs by 9.5.
Chiefs
over. All right.
Yeah.
I think it'll be. I think it will be more than that. I think it will be like 11.5.
11.5 and 12.
Hold on. The dryer buzzer. It's going to be relentless here. It's going to be incessant. So let me go get it. You guys.
That was so long. Unbelievable.
There's more where that came from.
Isn't that the signal? The noise? The dryers usually have the noise signal, right? You put that bad boy down to quiet. No one's with me. Okay. You guys don't know your dryers.
Ours, you can't adjust the noise.
You can't adjust the noise? Oh, you got to look into some, I don't know. Check next time you need an appliance. Go ahead and do that.
So obviously I'm picking the Chiefs here. First time the Eagles will face Patrick Mahomes. First time that I get to see Patrick Mahomes in person play since he was at Texas Tech.
Love that.
Very eager to watch him play. I look forward to these types of games. Picking the Chiefs by a lot.
You look forward to blowouts?
I look forward to seeing great, seeing the great players. You look for. I remember every time I got to watch Peyton Manning. It was like
you remember every. Oh no! Oh, I see.
Every game I went to the Peyton Manning.
I'll never forget the Keenan Clayton game.
I was not covering the team.
Sean McDermott mystified Peyton Manning by busting out Keenan Clayton, who hadn't played defense all year long, as like a roving linebacker safety. What a game plan.
Did you like my Peyton Manning reference in our write-up?
I might have missed it.
We will get to it when we get to Denver, because it was a great Peyton Manning quote, like one you can just see Peyton Manning give. So
I think I missed that one. I think it was towards the end, and I was trying to get it in on time.
I was looking the
this is a loss for me.
The visiting quarterbacks is quite the crew this year. I don't know if you guys mentioned that or not, but yeah, not like not a Benny DiNucci or who are the other go-tos?
Or
CJ Beathard, who was the 49ers
CJ Beathard, Mr. Biscuit.
Yeah.
Some other janky guys dropped in.
Okay.
They had Andy Dalton, who's
quality
he's
crew.
Not janky.
Okay. 1-3. I've got him at 1-3. What do you guys have after?
We both got him at 2-2.
Okay.
No, I have 1-3.
I thought you had him beating the Cowboys, Zach.
No, I had him losing to the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
I said Dak Prescott. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
At Carolina, and I think Carolina could be a sleeper terrible team this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
To Zach's point about sort of the lines of scrimmage, it's not like everyone's like, oh, Sam Darnold ditched Adam Gase, which is true, and you have to factor that in, and it could be a big change, but their offensive line is not great. I don't think their defense is great, just because they've drafted a bunch of defensive guys here, and so we'll see what Matt Rule's got up his sleeve. But like Teddy Bridgewater wasn't great last year, but he was probably like around the 18th to 20th best quarterback, and Sam Darnold has never been that in a season. So I don't think the Panthers are going to be very good. But Zeber, looks like you feel like they may be overpower the Eagles here.
Yeah. So I hate to put it this way, because you shouldn't do this, and I guess it's a peek behind the curtain here. But this was one of those things where I originally had the Niners winning, and then the Panthers, but then I'm like, well, are they going to start 0-4, and are they going to lose this many home games and win this many road games? So it was one of those when I looked at
you backworked it.
Yeah, when I looked at the schedule overall, I had them winning too many games on the road, losing too many games at home, and I had them starting 0-4, and I'm like, I don't know if they're going to start 0-4. So I'm like, all right, I can talk myself into them winning the home opener, but then they're going to lose down in Charlotte. So you can easily switch this game with San Francisco, and I wouldn't mind. I'm not going to do that Bo tactic of picking a win and a loss for game.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like that.
Don't forget ties. But I mean, look, I'm not overly impressed with this Carolina team, but I'm not overly impressed with this Eagles team either. I can see this going either way.
Bo, you going to do a resident culture and a cookout for this trip?
100%.
Outstanding.
100%.
I might have to. Can I come
this
down?
Might be, now I got to tell you, this is a good schedule for close couple friends of the Wolves. You've got Charlotte, Atlanta, and Denver, all with very good friends of ours.
Okay.
So
Charlotte, Denver, Atlanta, you said?
Yeah. So some options for maybe a family tag along on a couple of these trips. Resident culture certainly in the plans if that's the case.
That's great. You should.
Maybe I can come down for Saturday, do a little resident culture, and fly back up Sunday before any games start.
Love it. You're always welcome.
Okay.
Resident culture. If we do have any listeners in Charlotte, and if Josh Norris is still around, I don't even know if he's back down there. Resident culture, brewery, great spot, good friend of the Wolves. Highest recommendation.
I feel like we saw it in the beginning stages. Right? I remember.
It has bloomed. It has blossomed.
Give your buddy a shout out.
Chris Tropiano, Tropes.
Yeah, I remember Tropes was, what do you think? Would this look good? What do you think we should do here? Yeah. I was giving a lot of unsolicited advice after I probably had a couple of those small ones because, those
my wife recently named one of their beers.
After me.
Yes, it's called Dr. Capadia.
Oh, my guy. All right, Dr. K. Okay.
So a good friend of mine who's a fan of this pod, Sean, he had a good recommendation for me. You know, I've been to a lot of these cities. That's not a flex, but like I have my
real traveling man, world traveler.
No, I mean, this will be my 10th season covering the Eagles. So like you've been to a lot of these places.
Rambling man.
So I have my favorite restaurants in each of these cities, but he suggested maybe I take listener suggestions and then put it out there on Birds with Friends. I don't want to say a review, but let people know where I ate, what I thought.
I like this. So, restaurants for Zach.
Dinners for Zach.
Yeah.
Dinners
so
for Zach. Yes.
Absolutely. So maybe before some of these road trips, I give a call out. You tell me your favorite spots. I'll look up the menus, the proximity to where we're staying, the price range, and then
hope you get some
we'll
Olive Garden recommendations.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I will figure that out. It has to be authentic to the region. And yeah, so definitely, and we don't have to do this now, but
no big chains. Yeah, you want.
I mean, unless now it can be like a
regional
Chicago. It could be like a Lou Malnati's if you're in Chicago, but that's
Don't get Sheil and me started on Lou Malnati's.
I mean, I thought you disliked it more than me. I thought it was a little overhyped, but
it is overhyped.
You really, I vividly remember you. You were disgusted.
The tomatoes were very good. The tomatoes very high quality, but the shelf life of the Lou Malnati's pizza was awful. I mean, it goes bad so quickly, just straight to cardboard. So there you go. I have the Eagles winning this game. I don't think Sam Darnold is very good, and I think they're going to go 3-2. So there you go.
Quick question for you guys, and I don't mean to. I mean, we're at 9:47 here, and we're probably still in September. But
42 minutes, and we've got a terrible podcast,
and we've got Sheil's entire synopsis of election to get.
So all right, so real quick, does Deshaun Watson have a better chance of starting for the Eagles or the Panthers this season?
This season, the Eagles. I don't think the Panthers are making that deal after making the Darnold deal.
No, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're married to Darnold if they can get Watson. But again, the Watson situation is obviously there's a huge variable here. But,
yeah, I mean, I don't think the Eagles should trade for Deshaun Watson for all the reasons we've talked about.
I would want to know from the commenters and the viewers now how you would feel if the Eagles traded for Deshaun Watson.
But Peter King, who we
People
all respect,
the Eagles released their schedule graphics today, and there's 6 guys in there, no quarterback, no Jalen Hurts, and any promotional materials from the Eagles.
Oh, well, I'll flex here. It was on WIP this morning, and Angelo asked the question. He's like, "Why is there no buzz around Jalen Hurts?" And he made a good point. He's like, this city's gotten behind a lot of terrible quarterbacks who just showed a flash. I was in the stands for Bobby Hoying. I thought it was gonna, this guy was gonna be unbelievable. Kevin Cobb, he gets in there, throws for 400 yards, and everybody, people think he's the next guy. Jalen Hurts was by no means great last year, but there were, some exciting moments.
I think so.
But it seems very different with Jalen Hurts. And I said, I think they're taking their cues from the organization, and nothing from the organization says that they believe in Jalen Hurts or that they think he's going to be the guy. And so if the organization is telling you that, you might not be getting very invested in it. But it is sort of a bit odd. I don't know that there's or have fans just gotten sort of to this point where it's like, oh, we know the odds of a second round pick making it.
I think it's more about the general antipathy towards the team right now.
Okay.
And maybe the two things are just interconnected, but until Devontae Smith was drafted, there was no juice about this team whatsoever. True. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think if if they had brought in a new general manager and to your point, the new general manager was like, I'm excited about Jalen Hurts, I think there would be excitement about Jalen Hurts. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's some of the fatigue for the current structure.
As far as Watson, look, we brought it up immediately after the draft that this can't be discounted if Watson's
Peter King mentioned it the other day.
And then I was going to say Peter King put the Eagles up as like the odds on, or not the odds on, but the top contender.
Well, and the reviews are just pouring in the chat for Deshaun Watson. No, Watson can go be a sex pest somewhere else. Disgusted. I'd hate it. Upset. Ew. Would drop the birds. Pass on Watson. Absolutely not. F him. Disgusted. Not great. Would hate it. No. Would become a Bills fan. Totally out on it. I don't see anybody in here.
Yeah, no, I think there were two. One said if he's all cleared, and two kind of said, I forget what it was, but basically, you used to care about this stuff. I separate morality from fandom. Just want to win. But yeah, I would say overwhelmingly in the chat, people say no to Watson. All right, week 6.
Well, I don't think he would be moved unless there's resolution of some variety here. So,
well, yeah, and it depends what kind of resolution, right? Yeah. So you have 22 civil suits. You have, I think, 2 criminal cases being investigated, and then you have the personal conduct policy from the league. So there are, a lot of things that sort of need to be resolved there. But yeah, I mean, you would have to say a little bit where there's smoke, there's fire with the Eagles' connection to him, right? I mean, Peter King isn't just bringing that up out of nowhere, unless it's just a matter of, hey, what team has like additional picks next year? You know, we'll just link them. So who knows? Okay, week 6, Tampa Bay.
You had them. What did you have? Win or lose for Carolina?
I had a win, so I have them at 2 and 3.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Thursday night, so they get their second prime. So they have 2 primetime games in the first 6. Huh? Is that the NFL saying get these out of the way early in case this is one of the worst teams in the NFL?
Well, yeah, and also, you know, if you prove us wrong, we can still flex you in later.
That's true. Okay. I mean, that's going to be a big line. Also, that may be a double-digit line as well. With
Tampa. This is incredibly predictable. Everybody sees this coming, but like let's just because the Bucs are bringing everybody back doesn't mean they're going to be as good as they were last year.
Sure.
I mean, think about the 2018 Eagles. Like, I don't know. It's
couldn't be a more different situation.
I mean, it could be. They both won the Super Bowl, surprisingly.
They had a quarterback coming off an injury. The other one is the backup. They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost their quarterback's coach. I mean, I'm not saying pencil the Bucs in. I think the Bucs have a very high floor. I mean, I would be stunned if they were not at least like in the divisional round. I think.
Yeah, I picked Tampa Bay here. They're a better team. Crazier things have happened on short weeks, of course, but I would still go with the Bucs.
I'm sorry. 2 and 4. I have this game as a tie.
I have the Eagles 1 and 5 here, by the way, not 2 and 4.
Wow.
Oh, geez. Oh, you had them losing to Carolina too.
2 and 4.
Yeah. Okay. 1 and 5, 2 and 4, 3, 2 and 1 for me. I have the Eagles signing. Jake Elliott suffers an injury, and they sign Robert Aguayo for this game.
Okay. At the Raiders, week 7. I imagine this would be a popular road trip.
Yeah, definitely. Those prices are going to be going through the roof, I would imagine.
Oh, big time. Big time.
For Eagles fans.
What a funny reaction.
I got a bunch of texts.
It's books and airplane prices. Those are the 2 things that can really get a reaction from.
Yeah.
Like Tim the Toolman Taylor.
The most popular text that I got today was, "Hey, do you know the date of the Raiders game?" Like people who would not typically text me wanted to know this date. So,
speaking of Tim the Toolman Taylor, my wife wanted me to issue a correction on Paul O'Neill. She said her family supports Paul O'Neill, the right fielder. They thought he was fine as an on-air personality, but they do not support recent years Paul O'Neill.
I don't even know recent years.
I didn't know anything about it either. I don't know how she keeps track of all this stuff, but she wanted that.
It's hard. It's hard to keep track of everybody. And this was a problem for me as I was going through my movie recommendations for you. There's always a director or a screenwriter who's been doing some dirty stuff.
Yeah.
So I will say I love Las Vegas. I've been looking forward to this trip for years, ever since the Eagles said they were going to. I'm sorry. Ever since at the owners' meeting when it was announced that the Raiders were
have you been before?
To Vegas?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let's just get into those trips, shall we?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing really. You split eights and you double an 11, right? So it's basically those are my Vegas trips. No, I'm very much looking forward to this game, and I recognize that a lot of people from Philadelphia will be heading out there. I think this is going to be one of those. You think about the Chargers game a few years ago. You think about some of these Eagles-Dolphins game. This is going to be a big Eagles crowd.
That's a good point.
I picked the Eagles to win.
Unless
this
they're
game.
1-5, like you just said, like you have.
Yeah, but look,
people might not make the game.
I don't think the Raiders are this brilliant team.
Yeah.
So I have the Eagles winning this game.
I have the Raiders winning this game.
I will go with I'll go with Zach. I'm going to say the Eagles. Eagles win this game. I don't like the Raiders this year. I think they're a bit of a lost franchise, and so I will say the Eagles bounce back from the Bucs loss and take this one.
I think the team, they're falling into the same trap that Zach is, a little bit too excited about going to Vegas for the first time. Maybe not all the way focused on the game. That's how this
is a term in the NHL. It's called the Vegas flu, right? And
South Beach flu. Yeah.
But so teams have started to try to. I think I read a story about this. I apologize. I did not mention the author, but how like they're trying to book off strip hotels because it's
that makes sense.
Become a popular
Don't
place.
They have curfews and stuff, right?
In the NHL, do they?
No, in the NFL. Like, aren't they?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
well, the NFL
stop
guys from missing curfew.
Is that true?
Or getting after it before curfew.
Yeah, but if you get after it before curfew, I mean, just that
coaches don't have curfew, right?
That big Evian, for $7.50 near the bed, you just crush that bad boy. Coaches, wow! Maybe. I like Zach. I like Zach. Just saying, coaches are going to be
young staff.
Okay, all right.
All right. So the Eagles go to Vegas, and then they have a back-to-back road trip in Week 8. They go to the D, up to
which
Detroit,
is in the Eastern time zone.
That's right. Michigan is a split time zone state.
Gotcha.
We've learned. So, sometimes you bite the kneecap, sometimes the kneecap bites you. What's going to happen in this game?
I don't think I've written a word about the Lions since that hire that has not involved a kneecap.
Yeah, nor did I in this preview. I wrote that Landon Dickerson's going to take a bite of Campbell's kneecap in the pregame just to establish dominance.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy.
I mean, the Lions are going to be, I think, one of the worst teams in the NFL. That's not a controversial opinion. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles lost this game, but given the rest of the schedule, I'm going to pick them to win this game.
I don't remember what I picked here.
Yeah, I had the Eagles
winning win on the thing I'm looking
I did, yes. Oh, look at you. She's looking at the answers to the test.
I have the Eagles winning this game, and this goes back to what I was saying with when I looked at all 17 games and I'm like, they have too many road games. Oh, I'm sorry, they have too many road wins. And so I switched that Carolina and San Francisco on. I have the Eagles beating Detroit. So I have them winning back-to-back games on the road, getting some momentum. Darius Slay, big play Slay in jersey number 2.
You're going to torch him.
No, he gets pumped up for this game. Detroit doesn't really have.
He gets pumped up for this game. Receiver. What does that mean? He got pumped up for all those number 1 receivers he was going up against last year.
No, he did not get pumped up for DK Metcalf. He admitted as much on that great video. He was actually terrified. It sounded like that video was awesome.
I don't think Detroit's wide receivers are going to terrify him, and I think he's going to be ready for this one. I think he makes a big play. The last time I was in Detroit,
I'll take that bet.
The last time I was in Detroit, he had an interception off of Carson Wentz.
Right, exactly. A game that didn't matter.
This is the perfect year to be a cornerback needing a revenge game against the Lions, I will say. I mean, maybe the worst wide receiving group in the NFL. Who knows what it will look like at this point? But I think they'll be playing Tyrell Williams, Brashad Perriman, and I should know how to pronounce
Cephas
and
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes.
It is funny to think about, though, like from Detroit's perspective. Like, this is probably one of the few games on their schedule where they're like, oh, like, look, we got Philadelphia flies to Las Vegas, and then they have to come here. This is one of the ones we can get.
That's true. I think I'm going to be changing my prediction by the time we get to this game. But all right. Well, I have them at 4-4 at the. We don't even have a halfway point anymore. I mean, this is killing me. I did this. I had this tweet about Kyle Pitts and what his over under is for yards, and I was like, no tight end.
I didn't even think
someone's
about
like,
that.
don't forget the 17th game, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already.
I hate the 17th game.
All right, so it's kind of not quite the halfway point. I've got them 4-4. What do you guys have?
4-3-1.
All right. Well, how about one at a time, boys?
Go ahead,
you
Zach.
first, Mo. I have them.
Great chemistry for you. We got to work on this before week one.
I have them at 3-5.
4-3-1.
3-5, 4-3-1. Okay. Oh boy, I'm just looking at my screen here. This does not look like a great stretch. You got the Los Angeles Chargers, my guys, coming to town.
Yes.
Justin Herbert,
under. Shane Steichen revenge game. Nick Sirianni talking about Keenan Allen, as Zach writes.
I think Justin Herbert does deserve to have a Shane Steichen revenge game based on some of the things I saw last year.
Fighting words in the Novacare complex.
387, Justin Herbert over under passing yards in this game. I mean, this one just screams to me one of those games where the Eagles are just getting torched by the opposing quarterback.
But I think this game could be a shootout because that Chargers secondary. Well, I should say their corners.
No belief in Brandon Staley.
Well, I disagree.
All right, you like this? You're a big Michael Davis guy.
I like a Michael Davis.
I like a Mike
and then Asante Samuel Jr. on the other side.
Oh, I'm loving Asante. I love this secondary. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair point. So I have the Chargers winning this game for the reasons that both Sheil and Bo mentioned.
Yeah, I got the Chargers winning.
Chargers, yep.
4-4-1.
3-6. 3-6.
At Denver, Week 10, 425. Aaron Rodgers and the Denver Broncos. What do you think?
Ooh.
Yeah. So this one here. This was my Peyton Manning reference. The last time the Eagles played in Denver, 2013, remember vividly, the Broncos put up 52 points.
That's right. Completely unstoppable.
The Chip Kelly, Bill Davis, Jerry Azzinaro defense did very little to get in their way. And Peyton Manning had a quote after the game where he said, I think they had to give old Thunder an IV. Because Thunder is the horse that runs onto the field after scores, and right or
something like
that. Something like that.
I mean, I don't know the answer to if that's true or not. You could be making anything
some
up
Bronco
right
mascot type thing that he said he had to give him an IV.
My guess is he's a horse
because they were celebrating points so much in that game. So, anyways. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game unless Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the Broncos, which is something you cannot discount. But if that does not happen,
nor can you discount double check.
True, but I like this Broncos defense. I think the Broncos have some weapons on offense. I know Bo is sour on their offensive coordinator, but that is a good.
Hey, give me some credit there on that one too, please.
Yeah,
it's only because we've never shared a meal.
So that is a tough place to play.
Only because we paid attention to his career. Sorry, that's mean. I'm giving
the Broncos a victory here. I'm giving the Broncos a victory here.
Yeah, I think this is a tough stretch for the Eagles. 2 road games, Chargers at home, another road game, like another cross-country flight. This is the end of that 4-game stretch. We always make a little bit too much of this schedule-wise, but I feel like this is a tough one. And the bye is not even in sight yet. So this sort of feels like the slog for the players. And it's a tough game. I think that defense could be good. I've got Denver as well.
If you have a BetMGM account and like to hedge some of these Eagles games, I feel like this one would be a great one to take the Broncos. I can't imagine that if they have a Week 10 line out right now, which they do that, right? Sometimes they give lines for the whole season, right? That one just screams and sort of timing matchup that the Eagles are going to get crushed and blown out in that game. All right. 4 and 6, I've got him after 10.
It was too easy. It was too easy to make the Todd Harrimans and Jaquay Parker drive to Denver in their van for this game for the tailgate joke. But we all thought it.
I have them at 3-7 here.
Week 11 against the Nolans.
No, we finally got it. That was good. We had forgotten to get it from you, so I'm glad you brought it back.
Nolans.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't get to go to Nolans now.
So
playoffs could happen.
I don't know Sean Payton. I've only spoken to him on conference calls and whatnot. But
I feel like I know him,
but I feel like Sean Payton is a vengeful type. I feel like he's someone who
fair to say.
I feel like he's someone who does not forget. Jalen Hurts' first start last year against New Orleans. New Orleans was riding high at the time, and the Eagles upset the Saints. Outstanding game by Hurts.
Cost them a bye. Cost them the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be fresh on Sean Payton's mind. I think this is going to be a motivated Saints team. That
Jenkins is pissed about the number.
0.7. So I have the Saints winning this game and the Eagles dropping to 3-8.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't think the Saints are going to be great this year, but I like the Saints here as well.
I don't want to give away all the very bad jokes in the Athletic article for people to read, but I do have the Eagles winning this game because Sean Payton's analytics staff has told him that Jalen Hurts has never won a game in which he's thrown for over 300 passes, which is true. And so they then invite him to just complete passes down the field, and that ends up backfiring. So it's a win for the Eagles.
All right. Week 12 at the New York Football Giants. You take the trip up to MetLife. You go to
stay in
Marissa's
New Jersey
hometown. Maybe, you get a little lunch at Marissa's hometown. She gives a, what is it? Food for Zach? Dinners for Zach? Dinners for Zach recommendation. We'll give a review. Zach doesn't like it that much. Marissa gets heated in the post-game pod, starts mutiny. I mean, there are all kinds of possibilities here.
And it's like they had those two LA game or LA Seattle. Do they stay in New Jersey for this week? Because they play the Jets the following week.
Yeah,
they stay in East Rutherford.
It is a quick drive down the road. So
I don't know. I think they could do that. Sirianni might he's a new coach. He might have some novel ideas. What is Marissa? What's your you're driving through the turnpike? What do we have a recommendation for maybe a driving lunch for listeners?
I mean, not like super close to the turnpike. You'd have to get off the turnpike. So I mean,
if it's worth the detour.
There's a Mexican restaurant in New Brunswick that is not far off of the turnpike called Taqueria. There's a few locations and it is so good. I drive like the 20 minutes to get it, like at least every other week.
I like that. A sit-down restaurant with like a waiter.
I always get it. I mean, with COVID, I always get it to go.
But generally speaking,
I think you can eat there. I think it's pretty small.
I like that. Chips and salsa just on the table. Okay.
Well, I've never eaten there. So I don't know. But
do they do a platter? You got
of
they
course.
Have a very big menu. They do a lot of Sheil. You'll appreciate this. They have a lot of vegan options. They have a lot of gluten-free options.
Okay.
Sheil wants the cheese though. He wants the cheese.
Yeah, I do. I need it.
Okay.
Well, I like the platter with
they have a Brussels sprout
with the
bowl,
refried beans and the cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, I like a double enchilada, and then you got the rice on the side. Maybe they throw in a tostada or something with that.
Yeah, they do like fried avocados on the vegetarian tacos. So,
all right, sounds okay. Taqueria.
Right.
New Brunswick. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Very good.
There you go.
All right.
I believe I have the Eagles beating the Giants.
You do. This is at the Giants after the loss to New Orleans. I'm going to say this is a loss for the Eagles.
Yeah, so I have the Eagles and Giants splitting, and
another one you backwork.
Yeah, so you can pick which one. I hear an echo. I don't know if it's mine or. Anyways, sorry about that. So I gave the Eagles a loss here. I feel like this is Joe Judge's
3-9.
Yes, but just wait. By the way, just wait, because there's a stretch of the season that they're going to be talking about the entire offseason. Anyways,
wow.
But I feel
it's
like
a little pathetic. It's a little pathetic how obsessed with the Eagles the Giants are right now.
I feel like this is going to be Joe Judge's Super Bowl, man. After Week 17 last year, I feel like he's going to be.
He's going to have his own stuff to worry about when his team is like.
What have I missed here? Have there been things in like the last week or two? I mean, another flex here, but Angelo asked me, "Is this the most tense the Eagles Giants rivalry has ever been?" And I go, "Absolutely not." I said I'd love to play along, but like there's been like 3 different eras since I've been alive where it's been more tense than it is now.
Yeah, I mean, like I always remember, like, Trent Cole used to say, like, everybody talks about the Giants, but like everybody talks about the Cowboys, but like the Giants, those are the real, like those are the nasty games.
Have I ever told my Trent Cole story here? I was a young buck reporter out there at Lehigh, and there was a lot of talk about like Trent Cole being double teamed all the time. I don't know if his numbers had been down the previous year or what, but I'm kind of like, I'm kind of watching the games, and it's like, it doesn't double teamed. It's not like the teams are just parking a tight end over there.
That's a very classic thing where you can say it without it necessarily having to be true.
So I asked Sean McDermott about it, and he kind of wants that balance, like, they definitely
they pay attention.
They pay attention to him. Sometimes they'll do a running back over there, but you're right. Yeah, like it's not like teams will just be double teaming him the whole game. And listen, I'm a young buck reporter at this time, and so I go up to Trent Cole and I say something like, people or you've said that you're double teamed a lot, but like really there's not, like, if you count them all up, there's not like a lot of double teams over the course of the game. And anyone who's seen Trent Cole, those eyes of his, he just stared like a dagger right through me and said something like, "What are you talking about?" or something like that. And I'm like, well, I tried to talk through it, and then eventually he was he answered the question. It was nice, but we all have those moments. I was a little nervous for my well-being for about 3 seconds there, thinking Trent Cole was going to throw me.
A very fun player to watch. Always loved a Trent Cole. I haven't necessarily enjoyed his post-playing career as much, but
as far as the rivalry, as far as the rivalry,
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know what specifically the impetus of that question was. Certainly, the Eagles, jumped the Giants in the draft. Much was made about that. I frankly think that the Giants made off okay, right? Getting that future first. Now, it is very clear that they were upset Week 17 last year with the way the Eagles handled that. That said,
win more than 6 games.
Exactly. Like, the Giants don't have much to stand on with, if they're upset that they didn't win they did not win the division at 6-10. Come on now. But I do feel like this is going to be a big game for the Giants. So I have the Giants winning the first one, and I have the Eagles winning the second one, but you can easily reverse that.
What did you have here, Sheil?
I had a loss. That's my 5th straight loss. I have
4-8.
Oh no, wait! I had them beating the Lions, right? Yeah.
All right. And I have them.
You've got them 3-9. Sheil's got them 4-8. I've got them 6-5-1.
But I should say this is the demarcation line, if that's the correct word to use here. The schedule. So after New Orleans, the schedule.
This is the beginning of the easy schedule. Yes.
Yeah, it
this
becomes
is the beginning. The last 6 games are.
This is when you're racking up wins. If the Eagles have if the Eagles have
division games, and I don't know if you know this about the NFL, but every division game is tough.
Yeah. But if the Eagles have a decent record at this point, that's when you can start thinking like, all right, they have a legit shot here. It's similar to 2013 in that regard, where the back half of the schedule is light.
Yes, I agree. So then the last game before the bye, they return to beautiful East Rutherford to play the Jets. for the game. I'm not even going to play it up. It's just Marissa knows that we're the better podcast, and she's going to be busy that week with a different podcast.
Maybe we have a joint pod.
I like that. Loser has to treat the winner to taqueria.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. At the
and
Jets,
winner always gets top priority with Marissa.
At this point, by the way, I think Marissa might prefer that pod because they started at 8:00 tonight, and we were on at 9. We're at 10:16 here, and we haven't even gotten to December.
She and I both, yeah.
No players.
So,
all right. A win. They beat the Jets.
So did you guys see Zach Wilson's mom's stuff in the news on Instagram?
Go on,
you guys see
go
that?
on the Jets podcast and talk about that.
Who could have predicted that? Who could have predicted that his mom was going to become a tabloid story, that his politics and his family were going to be a part of his NFL career? Who could have seen that coming?
Week 14 bye. Week 15 is the game Zach was talking about.
Wait, do we all have wins here?
I mean, listen, just write it down, or say it. You're talking about
Eagles beating the Jets,
mom,
and listen, Zach Wilson wishes.
I'm not the one who posted
Alabama
on social media. That's her. She's posting that for everybody to see.
Well, maybe
Zach Wilson
go to Disney World because people have to wear
Alabama
masks.
is on their schedule when he faces the Eagles' defensive line against that Jets' offensive line. So I think this is one where the Eagles win the line of scrimmage, and Joe Douglas is back looking for O-lineman next year. Although the left side of his offensive line is promising.
So here's a question for you, Zach, that is extra work. Will this be the latest bye in NFL history?
I will look that up. I can't imagine so, because there was a point in the NFL when they had 31 teams, and
okay.
so I think a team had a bye every week, right?
Okay. That's a good answer.
Washington at home.
Did we all have wins there? I have a win.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Been trying to move on from this Jets game for 20 minutes. Here.
Yes.
You had a win? Okay.
Win. All right. Washington.
And this is the only game when we don't know the exact date, because it is either the 18th or the 19th, Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
Oh, I had a loss to the Jets, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You would
James
pick Zach
Morgan.
Wilson.
No, I picked James Morgan to win the game. I said Zach Wilson had retired by this point. There's a lucrative offer from Newsmax, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Right. Eagles, Washington. Eagles are on extended rest here. I know Ryan Fitzpatrick carves up the Eagles, but this is a different Eagles defense. I am going with the Eagles on extra rest here. And you feel the momentum coming now. Back-to-back wins, 5-9, getting closer. So I have the Eagles.
The system is finally settling in.
I see no momentum. I have this as a loss. 5-9.
So you don't think that week 14 bye week is going to give this team rest? They're going to be ready to go.
I mean, they're going to be looking forward to their vacations by that point, given the way their season is gone.
So you guys both have them 5-9. I have them 7-6-1.
Okay,
got
it. Week 16, December 26th, home against the Giants. The second time in 4 games, but I guess technically that would be 5 weeks.
Yeah,
I had them losing.
They play Washington for the second time in 3 weeks. So it's good. Yeah, it's really nice. Just makes a lot of sense that you expand the schedule to have 17 games and still have teams playing twice in 3 weeks. That's good.
It makes our job easier because you don't have to watch those opponent film that much. So you know all the players, know all the teams. Yeah. Anyways, go on, Sheil.
No, I had them losing to the Giants the first time, so I'll have them beating them here.
Yeah, I have the inverse here. So I have the Eagles losing to the Giants the first time, winning the home one 3 games in a row. They're talking the big offseason narrative becomes this momentum carrying into 2022. And if you recall, 2016, the Eagles had this really bad losing streak in the middle of the year, and then they rallied late in the year, including a big win over the Giants, And it was what Doug Peterson kept talking about going into 2017, the way they ended the 2016 season, the way those players kept fighting. I think you're going to hear a lot of that from Nick Sirianni.
Always the worst narrative. I mean, such nonsense. As we reported, they were looking to fire Doug Peterson after that great finish. And also, what was the year? And I should know this. They won 4 in a row, right? To end the year, I think was it a Michael Vick? Was that before?
That was dream team. Year? That was the dream team year. They were 4-8. They won their last 4 games. Then they said let's bring it back. And then the next year, Andy Reid got fired.
Yeah, fool's gold, right?
Terrible.
Yeah, absolute fool's gold. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Did you have a win, Sheil?
I have a win here, and I have 6-9 going into the last 2 games.
I had a win and 8-6-1. But the Sirianni thing, like the problem is half this team, like this is like their last ride, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe not for all of them, but like, you know, your Kelce's, your like Lane and Brooks and Graham and Cox, like some of those guys will still be here next year, maybe, but like. This is a good chance that this is their last like good year, even if they are here. So, you know, it really like that is not something that you can. You're not just building a program here. Like half the roster are guys who are old.
Who is the player we're most likely to say, man, they really wasted a great year from player X, and that might have been his last great year? Could be any of those guys, really. You just mentioned.
I think I maybe go Lane.
Think so?
Yeah, I could certainly see Lane.
Okay.
I mean, I know Bo's gonna shake his head when I say this. Maybe Darius Slay, but
I mean that's
who knows?
Fine.
Different scheme.
But Slay, yes, but Slay is tied to the roster, right? In 2022, I believe. I believe
so.
Recently.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, but
you're
like,
saying last great.
He gives
year.
you a good year, and it's
right.
like it's for naught, basically.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Week 17 at Washington. I think they are getting swept by Washington.
You like Washington, huh?
You're big on the fighting.
You got to give us your NFC East.
No, I don't like Washington, but I think they're better than the Eagles. Ryan Fitzpatrick has carves up this team every time he faces them. I think their defense is pretty good. And so, I mean, I think Washington's probably around like a 500 team, maybe a little bit better.
If you're signing your starting left tackle on May 12th, then your offensive line might be a little questionable, right?
That was like a Foxworthy bit that you were doing there. If you're signing your left tackle on May 12th.
But wait a minute, he just got released like a week ago. They couldn't sign him before that.
No, but I'm saying they didn't have a solution at the position, right?
Yeah,
and so
average.
Drafting a guy with 2 torn ACLs at 37. You might have an offensive line issue problem.
So I have the Eagles and the Washington football team splitting.
If you're signing Demetrius Bell, you might have an offensive line issue problem.
As well, that's a good example when you're signing.
Marissa can't wait for this to be over.
So I have the Eagles and Washington splitting. Therefore, I have Washington winning this game. And
if you're rotating Stefan Wisniewski and Chance Warmack,
you might win
in the middle of the same game. You might have an offensive line, bro.
I would say Marissa's never been more disgusted by a bit, and Zach, for some reason, has never enjoyed one of your bits more. I don't know what that really says.
I have them 6 and 10.
That's what I'm usually going for.
Yeah.
I've got 6 and 10 also going into the finale. Bo.
Okay. I have a loss, 8-7-1.
Okay, and then home against the Cowboys, Sunday, January 9th, week 18.
Sounds so odd to say, right?
Awful. Sounds awful.
It's not awful. More football is never a bad thing.
I mean, tell that to the people getting concussions.
Well, as
collectively bargained.
I know, but I'm just saying.
They're playing the same.
Don't say it's not never a bad thing. Like,
yeah, that's
what about that video that those Pee Wee kids like helmet hunting? That was just awful to watch.
Okay, understood. So look, the Cowboys might have the division locked up by this point. I don't know if that's the case. I have the Eagles splitting with Dallas. I have them splitting the entire NFC East. So I have the Eagles with them. I have the Eagles winning this game. And the big question at this point in the season, and perhaps it's answered at this point, is Jalen Hurts the guy? right?
And that's what the whole season is about, right?
Yes. So I'm fascinated to see. But I have them winning. And
let me ask you this.
I have them finishing the season 7-10, and their over under, I believe, is 6.5. So that means that they slightly hit the over.
Yeah.
Is there
it's a good over under because I've got them losing in 6-11. So there you go.
Nice. I've got them tying this game and going 8-7-2.
8-7-2 over 500. So what were your two? Now you said you had two different records. What was the other one?
I think the other one was 9-8.
Oh, so over 500 in both of them. Z-Verb, look at this guy. Unbelievable. He's going to be getting all the access. And, Bo, do you have another question there, my man?
Bring it on. Homer City. That's me. Everybody knows that's me. Okay. Is there a scenario you think, like, can Sirianni do – is there a record aside from, like, locker room turmoil where he's like he just turns out to not be a good leader? Is there a record that you think is bad enough that they would consider moving on after 1 year, as they considered with Doug?
You never say never. I suppose it depends what your option is, right?
Four or under, I would say I wouldn't completely rule it out. I don't know. That's just an arbitrary number I picked up. I mean, have to look at
it. If the offense, doesn't look interesting at all.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's related to Hurts, but if it's not just Hurts.
Actually, I don't think that's going to be the case. And the reason is because if they
I think it's very far-fetched.
Yeah. I mean, does Howie Roseman survive if it's another coach a year later?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he will be
and
saying,
I think you become you do risk becoming like really losing the luster of the organization if and maybe that's not a reason to keep a guy if you actually think that he's not good for the job. But if you're firing Doug, however long after the Super Bowl, and then firing another guy after a year, it's like you're becoming a bit of a not laughing stock, but a garbanzo beans organization.
Yeah, I don't think it's about the record. It's probably just organizationally how are they doing and stuff behind the scenes. And look, I'm giving Nick a fair shake here. I've frankly enjoyed all the encounters with him. We'll talk to him on Friday this week. But yeah, it's certainly something to monitor because he does not have the kind of the track record of some of these other. But
coaches. He is being hired. He is being hired because they think he can design and implement a good offense. That's why he's here, right?
Do you think that's why he's here?
Well, I think it is more that than the leader that he is.
Oh no, I think a lot of it has to do with personality, right?
I think that's part of it, but I the offense is the thing. We know that that's what Jeffrey cares about, as he should. Mm-hmm. I think if the offense is boggy again, that's a red flag. Not that would get him fired, but I think that's what he's here to deliver is a good offense.
If Devontae Smith does not if he has a JJ Arcega-Whiteside, Jalen Reagor type rookie,
well, that's a whole nother issue altogether.
Then that's.
I think Devontae. I think he's going to be good. He's got some.
I agree.
He gives the season juice, right?
He was hired.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say. He was hired because they decided late on Peterson, got started on their coaching search late, weren't able to even, really get maybe some of the people who were atop their list, had to go to whatever plan he might be. And I think it is more about his personality than his offensive mind. I think it's all right that this is somebody who, in the mold of Doug, we can get him to implement some of the things we want to implement, whether that's analytics. He's not going to be all in our business in terms of personnel. And also, the thing I pointed out last episode is he seems like a likable guy. And so exactly. I don't think there's a scenario there's always is a scenario, but I think the most likely scenario for basically a coach to get fired after 1 year here would be for the guy to be a complete jerk or a complete embarrassment. And I don't think Sirianni's going to be either of those things. I don't think people are going to be walking around the building saying, we can't stand this guy. I think that's the one thing he has going for him. It's the thing Chip Kelly never realized. It's something, you young people out there with jobs. It is harder to be fired if your boss likes you personally. It sounds like an obvious thing, but it's not always an obvious thing. And so I think he's somebody who is going to be liked by his bosses. And so I would be pretty shocked if it was kind of a one and done type thing, even if they won like 4 games.
Yeah, so the reason that I would say it's not about the offense and more about the personality is if the other choice was Josh McDaniels. He certainly has more of a offensive pedigree in terms of play calling and in terms of putting a scheme together. So I think it's very much personality. And to Sheil's point, I think that's something that our reporting reinforced was like how much personality and likability has to do with those relationship dynamics. And you look at the Sixers right now, by the way.
To everybody who said Doug was the easiest guy they've ever worked with.
No, I'm talking about like behind the scenes, right? Like, in terms of different departments working together. And I give the example of Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey's doing a lot of the things that, like your traditional basketball guy or your traditional football guy might disagree with, but he has like a very likable way about him, and I think that adds to like the reason it often works with Daryl Morey.
Yeah, but my point is that Doug had all those things we're talking about. Everybody loved working with him. They said he was the easiest guy to work with. He's gone, in part because of the Wentz stuff, but he's gone because the offense stunk.
Yes, but I don't think they were hiring someone to fix the offense. Like, if they did, they would have hired McDaniels, right?
I don't know about that. Because, McDaniels is an abrasive personality. Like,
yes, McDaniels would have been more likely to be fired after 1 year than Sirianni would be. But no, obviously the offense is a part of it. It goes. I don't think that's why they hired him, but yes, I think that will obviously be a big factor. All right.
Well, I don't want to speak for Marissa, but I imagine that an hour and a half into this episode, she might be stressed. She might be tired. I hope that she has had dinner. But if not, food that's fast, that doesn't have to be fast food. Freshly offers quality meals without the hard work of prepping, cooking, and cleaning. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door. No cooking required. Grocery shopping and cooking can be a pain, especially right now. And with Freshly, you don't have to. Your meals arrive cooked and fresh every week, so you can keep your fridge stocked and skip the trip to the store. Ordering is easy. Visit freshly.com and choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like steak peppercorn, sausage baked penne, or their chicken pesto bowl. Freshly can fit your lifestyle with a variety of plans and meals to pick from that work for your dietary needs, preferences, tastes, and family size. And now, our listeners can try Freshly for just $6.16 per meal. Stop searching the internet for quote-unquote healthy food near me every night and start living life freshly. Your meals are always delivered fresh, never frozen, and are ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. With new meals added each week, Freshly brings the convenience of chef-made, nutritionist-designed classics right to your kitchen. Right now, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to Freshly, that's freshly.com/birds. So stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/birds for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/birds for $40 off your first 2 orders. Okay. Playoffs. Did you guys want to get to that? No? Okay. Sheil, we've been doing this podcast for, what is it? Almost 5 years now? 4 years now?
Who knows? Settle down. 4, yeah.
We're in the run up to our 5th season. And it's hard to remember a hashtag that has caught fire more than hashtag classics for Sheil.
Yeah, I want to explain this one more time because I feel like our listeners got it. But see, what happened is that
I think the hashtag itself is a little bit misleading.
Well, I think what happened is that this turned into would worldwide phenomenon would that be? I don't know if that's exaggerating or accurate.
I think it's fair to say that it is sweeping the country.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, you're getting texts from family members. My wife's friends are going like, what is wrong with Sheil? Like, is he okay? So, I think that the listeners have it right, which was really, this just came down to, this is content consumption season for a football writer. And I am not somebody who is a big movie guy. I don't love movies. I generally get bored with movies. And so I wanted recommendations based on what Bo just said, 4 years of listening to our nonsense. Okay. You should know what I like, what I don't like at this point. And you should be giving me recommendations that, if you had to water gun to your midsection, Sheil is going to like this movie. This is the one I would recommend to him. Now, other people are seeing this and just saying, oh, we're just going to give our favorite movies to Sheil under the Classics for Sheil hashtag.
A classic mistake. Yeah.
A little bit out of control.
It's not about you.
Right. So it's always about me. As I tweeted, it's not about you. And so what you need to do, you are choosing a movie that I will like, not a movie that you have liked. And so I tried to give some hints. I'm not a big fantasy, sci-fi, superhero guy. I judge in most things in my life. Like everyone who listens knows I'm a big judger. For movies, I don't judge. You like that stuff, that's great. I don't mind if people like that stuff. Just if you want a chance at getting a good movie for me, your chances are going to be lowered if you pick one of those. I said I like a high school, I like a college, I like a teen angst, I like a few laughs. I don't want to think too much. I don't really want to learn about myself. So those were the hints that I gave. We are 4 movies in here. I'm posting these reviews on Instagram for the 12 of you who are still listening. That's at Sheil Kapadia. And so I've reviewed 4 movies.
I don't think that includes Zach, by the way.
I'm listening to everything.
Yeah, Zach is checked out.
No, I'm listening to everything you've said here.
So see, even in the chat, people, you can't just be throwing movies out there. You need to go on Twitter. And if you don't have an account, I don't know what to tell you. There's one other place you can leave a suggestion, but you need to be on Twitter with a suggestion with the hashtag Classics for Sheil or our Apple Podcast page. Any movie there, I will add to the spreadsheet. But people are, emailing, texting. I can't be adding up all these movies from these different places. I need them in one place. So we've gotten through 4 movies really quick. No Country for Old Men. I posted the review. Was definitely a good movie. I understand why people like it. Very intense. I enjoyed it. I'm not really looking for that intense for all these watches. I will say that. There will be blood. I said I got about 12 minutes in. I'm not a big mining guy. No one had said a word. I paused it. Runtime 2 hours and 38 minutes. Listen, I just knew there was no chance of me getting through that entire movie, which, Bo, I think you did predict, right, with those 2? Yes. Yeah, so you were on it with that. And then the last 2 that I watched were Election. A lot of people suggested that one for some high school teen angst. It was solid. Good movie. Enjoyed it. I wasn't thinking I'm going to quit on this. Not the best high school movie, but enjoyed it. And the 4th one, Cool Hand Luke. I mean, I was 2 minutes and 38 seconds in. My wife walks in the room, so I paused it. There were about, 8 middle-aged, white guys with their shirts off doing some farm work. And she goes, what is the appeal of this? And I said, you're absolutely right. I can't answer that question. I watched it for 5 more minutes. I had no idea what anyone was saying. I mean, it was on a rural farm in Florida. There was just no chance I was going to get through that movie. So that was the one I quit on. Now, I did make a rule that these movies should be from the last 30 years. So that's fair, right? 90, 91 and forward. Now, if you feel strongly about one and want to recommend an old one, that's fine. But you are going to get crushed. And so I'm not going to do this now because we're late in the pod, but there will be consequences for you if you have suggested a movie.
Oh, do it now.
We're late. I want to make sure they get their burn, a little bit later. So I'll be calling out on future pods as just some of the worst recommendations. But what I'm very excited about here is that, Bo, I know you've been giving this a lot of thought. You have more at stake here than really anybody else, because if you give me a terrible recommendation, I'm going to crush you. I'm going to rip you. I'm going to be as relentless as you are with pretty much everything. And so, but I do trust you because I think you have the exercise right. You can kind of get into my head a little bit. And so I'm not going to just say they're terrible because you suggested them, but let's do it. I want
you have to understand
Zach, Marissa, you're welcome to suggest too, but I didn't know if
I have a suggestion.
Oh, wonderful. All right, let's get to it.
Go ahead, Zach.
No, you first. Oh, do you want to be the encore?
Yeah, no, go ahead. You go ahead.
All right, I hope you're the early act. So, and I know this doesn't totally line up with what you said because it's a personal favorite of mine, but I also think it's one you'll enjoy because it does not fit in the categories you don't like, and I think it's at the point now where it fits into a classic, and that is The American President.
I've seen The American President.
Okay. You've seen it. Okay.
Yeah. So I know that's fine. You had no way of knowing that, but yes. I did. I put out this spreadsheet. We need to do our second straight language.
No, we got to do 90 minutes again. All right. Sorry, Marissa.
But I did pin to the top of my Twitter page a spreadsheet that thank you, listener Alex, put together. And so this has all the movies that have been recommended, and I highlighted the ones that I've already seen. Now, no one has mentioned that one, Zach, so I can add that one, but I have seen that. It's not like I haven't seen any movie. So
now there was one thing in that spreadsheet that shocked me.
Okay.
Is it true that you have not seen Remember the Titans?
No, I've seen Remember the Titans.
Okay,
did I not highlight that? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'll go through. Okay.
Okay, that did surprise me.
All right, so Zach, the next podcast, I'm going to need another one from you.
So
unless you have one now.
For me, this has become less about finding the perfect movie for Sheil than it is getting my competitive juices flowing and proving that I can find the perfect movies for Sheil. Because it does not seem like people are listening.
I agree. As DFOP Rich Bobby said, we have a failure to communicate here.
Yes, which you probably didn't make it to in Cool Hand Luke. That is a key part of Cool Hand Luke. So he's making a good reference there that's flying over your head, but it's a good line.
I thought he was just making a commentary on the whole exercise.
So I want a perfect record here.
Okay. Now, how many are you given?
Well, I have 10 films on this list.
10?
10.
Marissa just threw her water bottle across the room.
But there are three that stand atop that I know
give me the three
will
first.
Be. Now, a quick question. You have seen Sideways, which is on there. Did you like Sideways?
I did.
Okay. Because same director as Election. And so there's another movie that is in my top 10, but it is not in the top 3.
Okay.
This one, the first one, is in the spreadsheet. It has been recommended by, I believe, 2 other people.
Oh.
And this is, again, we are not giving the best films here. We are giving movies that we think are going to hold your attention.
I want to enjoy. I mean, get some laughs
you want to
in
enjoy.
there. Does everyone go home? Like, I don't know. Is it no one else in this stage of their life where they just, I don't know, the parents out there, like you put the kids to bed, you clean up, you do the dishes, you sit down, like it's 9:30, you're half asleep. Do you really want to sit down to No Country for Old Men at that point? I mean, you guys are sickos out there, really.
True.
But, think about that.
Sometimes you're in the mood for a popcorn movie. Sometimes you're in the mood for a little education.
Right. So when you're at, get some of those that I just described in there. Picture that and get those in with Classics for Sheil. Sorry, go ahead.
So I do think this is a home run for you. Okay. And that is Inside Man.
Denzel, right?
Denzel.
I was excited to watch this one. Okay.
I think this is a home run for you.
Okay.
Next up,
suggested, yes.
That has been suggested. Next up in the top 3, the other 2 I have not seen on the spreadsheet. Now, one of them, it's possible you've seen because it's not on the spreadsheet, and that is Up in the Air. Have you seen that with the Clooney?
Huge Up in the Air fan.
I have seen that.
You have seen that.
I did like that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
I
one.
Felt good about that one.
Yeah, you're on the right track there, but you're gonna have to come up with.
Now the next one on the top, the other one on the top 3 is not, it's not a barrel of laughs, and this is a recent movie. This is a 2021 movie. That's the year we're living in.
That can't qualify.
What are you talking about? The classics is a misnomer. The classics is a misnomer.
It's a bad hashtag. What are you gonna do?
But we can't change it now. It's caught.
It's taken over.
It's caught fire too much. This is a recent movie. A couple actors were nominated for Academy Awards for it, but it's not a barrel of laughs, but it is gripping throughout. It is an important story that I think will resonate with you, and that is Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
And I think you will find yourself enthralled by that.
Yeah, when I said, I had said that if the first 20 minutes are garbanzo beans, I turn it off. I think that led people astray too. They thought you need some intense, suspenseful, first 20 minutes. They're sending me, mysteries, and that's not what I meant. I just meant at that point, I know myself well, and I know whether I'm going to get through the movie or not. So, okay, got it.
Now, do you want the second tiers? Or do you want me to go 2 for 2 and then see if I can after that go 7 for 7?
I personally want to hear them all now. You don't need to give a big rundown.
Okay.
I think we're an hour 40 into it, but I would like to hear them all. If nothing else, I can add them to the spreadsheet. You don't have to tweet them as classics for Sheil. And know that
that's the one thing I get. Okay, I'll take
my
that.
wife did have to. Her friend suggested brown sugar, apparently a big favorite of theirs in college, and she texted it to me, and I said, listen, you got to use the hashtag or that's not making the spreadsheet. So she did tweet it out with the hashtag.
There is one here that I have seen on the spreadsheet. Well, I'll get to that one. That's because it's not really my. All
right, yeah, let's just wrap it up. I mean, everybody here.
This is again not like the world's best film, but I think it will hold your attention. You may have seen it, and that is Argo.
I don't think I've seen an Argo. I have seen a Fargo, which people recommend.
I think you will enjoy an Argo.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
I think it is up your alley for this. Okay. I mentioned this one before. If this is my one documentary recommendation for you, and that is Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Okay,
that's the Banksy one. Is that right?
The Banksy one. Yeah,
look at the
little street art. Yeah.
Okay, all right. He's doing his homework.
Accurate reviews. Yeah.
Now you have maybe seen this one because it's very teen angsty. It's a very popular movie, but I didn't see it on the spreadsheet, so I'm just making sure it's there. And that is Juno.
I've seen Juno. Yes.
Okay, you liked Juno.
I liked Juno. Yeah.
Okay.
Really, I think it's called movie amnesia, where I don't remember anything about these movies.
Just whether you liked it or not.
Whether I like The Prestige, I had to have a long conversation with my wife. Did I ever see The Prestige? And we decided that yes, I had actually seen The Prestige.
Okay.
Okay.
The one that is the director of Election and Sideways that I originally had on my list for you as a home run. And then I rewatched it because I wasn't 100% sure, and it is a little bit less. It's a little bit more serious than I remembered, but I still think it's a heavy subject. But I still think it would hold your attention and is entertaining, and that is The Descendants, another Clooney movie.
That's all.
You may have seen.
Remember.
That.
I feel like I've seen it. I'll have to check with my wife to see if
I've never been to Hawaii, but that movie makes you want to go to Hawaii.
That's true.
I like a good scenery like that. Take me somewhere. That's another good tip.
Oh, you get that. You get that for sure.
If they're going on a trip, I'm pretty much going to be in.
Yeah, that's one where
Sheil,
something like that. Okay.
That's interesting that you say that.
Okay.
Because the movie that I don't have on here, but I wanted to say, is the movie that if I should find an untimely demise, and you find yourself, months down the line, you find yourself missing me a little bit. And you want to spend a little time being annoyed by me.
Okay.
Because you miss that annoyance.
Yeah.
I would recommend you watch The Trip.
The Trip?
The movie is called The Trip.
I don't think I've seen The Trip.
It is that's all I'll say. I would put that high on the list. I took it off because it's two guys go on a trip.
Need a premise. Love it.
You guys go on a trip with English accents.
Ooh,
doing impressions.
All right. That is okay.
Okay. Quickly, the last one's True Grit.
I have not seen True Grit.
Haven't seen that either.
I think it's a nice. It's a bit of a lighter No Country for Old Men. I mean, it's Coen Brothers. It's a bit more mainstream, but it's.
I did watch the 2016 Memphis Grizzlies, if that counts.
That does count. That does count. The one that is on the spreadsheet that I would co-sign for you as a good, just easy watch, a little bit entertaining, is Logan Lucky. I think Eagles Rewind
that one.
Had that on there for you.
Okay.
And then this last one, the very last one, This is more of a Kent Garrison recommendation.
Yeah, okay.
Now, of course, Kent has his own movie podcast. He is, he is the movie expert, mad about
Hasn't
movies.
yet asked me to be on, even though my reviews have really gone viral. Okay.
He alerted me to this movie. Now, this is a college. If you want your little college experience.
Yeah.
The movie is called Cover Ears of the Little Ones. It's called Shithouse.
I've heard this is a good one.
I think you would like that.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I was gonna have Everybody Want Some on there, but it's a little. I watched the beginning last night. A little too male gazy in the beginning.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that one's on there, so that'll be one.
I think you would enjoy that movie. It is a good movie, but it's not making my list. So that's my list.
I will say what I love. Well, thank you for those and the thought you put into those. I will say what I love about this is that, and this is, you complained about this at one point and I made fun of you about having like too much content, but this is great. I mean, we sit down and I'm going,
oh yeah,
all right, I'm going, here are the next two on this spreadsheet. My wife's going, I'm not watching that. And I go, okay, if I'm by myself, I'm watching that. Or she goes, yeah, save that one. And then we watch that one together. So the spreadsheet, very helpful. There's none of this Netflix. You're going around.
Yeah, I find myself paralyzed by choice, but that's because it's infinite. If I had it is nice. It must be nice to MBN to have.
You've seen too many movies. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. So everyone, go on Twitter, make your recommendations, make sure they have the hashtag Classics for Sheil. Hopefully now you understand the exercise. If you have people in your life who follow me on Instagram, like my wife's friends, and are just thoroughly confused at why I'm using your sister Eve, why I'm in my notes app of my phone writing terrible reviews, really bobo reviews for these movies from like 13 years ago. Listen, this is why we're doing it. I will say, and Brad Rutter did, call me out for this, that he said, who knew Classics for Sheil was just a reason to bump the Instagram follow. Yes. I got to say, the engagement on these are better than anything football related I've done. So I don't know what's happening, if it's hitting at the right time of the off season, but because of that, they will continue. And if you're like a big movie person, don't be offended. I'm not saying I have good taste. Listen,
right, yeah. This is not about recommend the best movies. This is a contest about how well you know Sheil.
Acclaimed, right? Exactly. Thank you. Okay.
The Descendants, by the way, you're getting work done because you can say it's Shailene Woodley's in it, so it's like Aaron Rodgers research basically.
And my kids are big fans of the Descendants, the other Descendants.
I've heard that's good. Yeah. Last loop to close. The name of the beer at Resident Culture that my wife named Crowdsourced Affirmation. So there you go. Go pick that one up if you're in the Charlotte area.
All right, let me get one last thing, and because you mentioned that, because I was thinking about this. I got the vaccinations, and I'm feeling like I'm ready to get out there a little bit.
Now I owe you another set of recommendations. For restaurants.
You do, yes. I just want to support.
It's a lot I take these very seriously. It's a heavy load.
Every chef, every bartender, I want to give every barista. I want to give you all of my disposable income. Let's get out there. So I was thinking, if you are like
this guy. I'm sorry. I'm rudely cutting you off. This guy is suggesting is 1917 in the spreadsheet.
I've heard that's very good.
Have you not been listening? Have you not been paying attention?
Listen, who knows? It could be. But so, I was thinking if there are local or small business owners who listen to Birds with Friends, whether in the Philadelphia area or elsewhere, email us at birdswithfriendspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what your business is, and so we can get the listeners behind it. And I'm ready to drive to like anything within like a 2-hour radius if to go get a drink, get a meal, get a coffee. If you do a t-shirt, I'll do a t-shirt, anything.
Help us help you.
I feel like hopefully the tides are turning a little bit. So that's all.
Maybe a live pod somewhere.
There, right? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Before week 1. Yes. We do a live pod somewhere.
Taqueria.
At least one.
Yeah, we can help your establishment. Bring our audience there. I am totally on board with helping out any of those small business owners.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
That's
my sister works at a brewery in Philly.
What?
Now you tell us. What is this?
What?
I can't.
We're 48 in.
I forgot the name.
Oh,
Marissa, what are we doing here?
I just texted her.
How long have you been
text
producing?
me, hurry. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll volunteer there for the live pod. I'm sure.
Oh, that sounds outstanding. I knew that I remember you did tell us she lived in Philly, but I mean, brewery.
Yeah, I can't
here?
remember the name, so I feel like a bad sister right now. But I did tell her that I should mention it on the pod and see how many Birds with Friends listeners.
What a sister combo. I mean, I gotta get my girls around you two. One working at a brewery, the other one producing. Producing our podcast is not necessarily a feather in your cap, but you are thriving in other areas with the company. That's like a cool combo when you're probably like meeting other families, friends. Like, what do you guys do? I work at a brewery. I produce sports podcasts.
Yep.
I was thinking about the other day, Marissa.
Though. We're very different. So
it's like Marissa, who's this like extraordinary producer in the literal definition of the word extraordinary. Okay. And but she has her performance review and she needs to explain what the Ospreys are.
Which we have to do now.
We're getting lots of tweets about it.
We paid you to do this award show.
Or the 2-hour podcast we're recording right now.
This is unbelievable. Yes. Yeah, let's go. I know I was extending it.
I couldn't stop laughing because she said you didn't say your other sister. You said my sister, but just bringing it back on the person who said that they got their first action at the what was it, the mall?
Exton Mall.
Exton Mall. Yeah.
My first real kiss was in the movie the other sister, which is not a romantic movie.
I don't know anything about that movie, but wow.
Not on the list.
Theater.
Do not put that on the list.
Look at you. Look at this guy.
I don't think that's like an impressive. I don't think that's an impressive thing.
I don't know. Yeah, listen, I'm not sharing any of those details of my life. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. You know what we did, though? We gave enough length post-ad that it was still in the middle of the episode. So
I did message you at week 9, like, hey, don't forget about French.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
And then week 17.
Yeah. So there you go. Hey, the Ospreys will be coming up soon enough. Okay. For Zach, Sheil, and Marissa, I'm Bo. Thank you for listening, and everybody who tuned in live. We'll be around. #classics for Sheil. Make sure you take the exercise seriously, and as always, we love you.